Welcome to another episode of A Year in Marvel. I'm Antonio Alcazar.
Yo, and I'm Jason now.
Another WandaVision.
Hell yeah, bro. Another WandaVision is down the pipe, my man.
It was an hour long, too. That was wild.
Yeah, it wasn't that crazy that it was an hour long. Yeah. What a fucking joke, right?
Why'd they even say that? Because I saw one thing that said Kevin Feige had confirmed it. And no.
You know where you probably saw that? We got this covered.
Yeah.
Which is, if you see something on We Got This Covered, it means it's definitely not happening.
They definitely don't have it covered.
Right, they definitely don't have it covered. And here's the thing. I saw it too, but like it was on like Marvel Hub, some shit like that, which is not official at all.
Okay.
And it's just wishful thinking.
Yeah, what a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, like we did talk about how it was going to be hour-long episodes. It's clearly not hour-long episode. A friend of mine,
you know what? They're doing us like fucking Game of Thrones, man.
Yeah,
we got hyped up like
it was like 8 minutes longer. This last one was like 8 minutes longer, bro. And like just like Game of Thrones, you're right. What a coincidence.
Yeah. You called it.
All right, so here we are. It's this episode was episode 7, breaking the fourth wall. And we're really kind of rounding about the turn here. We only got 2 more episodes after this. So let's you want to jump right into it?
Dude, yeah.
Let's jump right into it. All right, I'll give you the rundown. Here we go. Wanda wakes up from last night's activities and starts talking to us in the fourth wall style. Kids come up to wake up Wanda because their game controllers are rapidly changing. You see her like magic that's swapping them from controller to type to different controller type throughout the history of video games and gaming in general because they turn into Uno cards at one point. She comes downstairs to deal with life, tries to get breakfast, and again, things are rapidly changing. We hit into a Modern Family style intro. Did you ever watch Modern Family?
I didn't. No.
Okay.
No.
Did you notice like the style of it?
Well,
though?
yeah. Well, I mean, it's Modern Family style, but this was also during the era of The Office and Parks and Recreation.
Sure.
Where this was constantly.
This was definitely Modern Family though, just in the and because Agnes is even dressed like that. I think it was the gay one that was part of the Modern Family. I didn't never watch Modern Family. I just know of it. But she's like dressed in the exact same outfit that he's in.
No, I knew. This was just mockumentary style.
Right, of course, yeah. We jump over to S.W.O.R.D. at their new site that's outside of the Hex where it's expanded. This really gave me that Annihilation feel from this because that's pretty much the exact same thing that happens in that movie. S.W.O.R.D. director informs that they're ready to launch today. We flip over to Vision, who wakes up at a festival, which is entirely made up of the S.W.O.R.D. crew, and of course Darcy, who's the escape artist in this little festival. Vision tries to reason with Darcy, who's clearly under the same type of spell, so it's straight that just everyone is brainwashed as soon as they're in the Hex. Wanda deals with the kids for a moment, and the kids ask about Uncle Pedro. She tries to deal with stuff, and Agnes comes over and agrees to take the kids so Wanda can have a little bit of her own time. Wanda gets some chill time, but her powers are still out of control and rapidly changing the things around her. We jump over to Monica and Wu. We find out that S.W.O.R.D. was trying to bring Vision back online and sort of explains maybe why they let her take the body from their hideout where they had it. We meet up with Monica's inside man, and all that guessing was for naught because it was some random woman who didn't matter at all. They pull out a moon rover.
Didn't she actually say a man on the inside?
She did. She said she has an inside man.
Yeah. So this was like red herring.
We'll get to that.
Like Disney was just like, fuck you, pigs. Eat that slop.
We'll get to it. They pull out a moon rover thing to break through the barrier. Over to Vision at the festival. Continues to break through to Darcy and eventually just hard unlocks her. They steal one of the trucks and they take off. We jump over to Wanda and the magic is still going crazy. And she has a therapy session and a man's voice says, "Do you think maybe this is what you deserve?" Commercial for Nexus pills. Now, this is some real 2000s level shit right here. Taking pills to feel better about shit. Like, these were, like, everybody was, like, happy to be on pills as fast as fucking possible in the 2000s. And that's why we have a fucking drug epidemic that we have right now in areas where we never had it in the past. We jump over to Agnes with the kids. And the kids mention that it's quiet here, so they like it here. And Agnes is actually specifically very quiet on the inside. Some funny fourth wall things with her, where she doesn't want to break it to the kids that their mom is going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. We back over to Monica, who attempts to break through the Hex, and of course things don't go well, and the rover's fucked up. Monica refuses to give up though on the situation and runs into the Hex. Now she's a superhero too. She can see through the Hex power and has perfect vision. Vision and Darcy attempt to get back to Wanda's house, but they're impeded on the way. Darcy explains pretty much everything that's been going on. Monica makes it over to Wanda's house and they fight for a moment. She specifically points out that Pietro wasn't from us. Agnes looks outside, so we know something's weird going on with her. She shows up to take Wanda away from the situation after Monica almost breaks through to her. Back over to Vision, he's giving another interview until he finally says, "What the fuck am I doing here?" Breaks out of it and flies towards the house. We jump over to Agnes's house, and Wanda starts to realize things are a little odd here. Where are the kids? Oh, likely in the basement. They head down to the basement, and Agnes shows up and reveals she's manipulated all the bad events that have been happening. A third aspect ratio shows up, and we get a song about Agnetha always being behind all the bad things. Very much feels like this is a follow-up from a couple weeks ago when we talked about how this was supposed to be released around Halloween. Because it was very much like a Halloween witch sort of feel.
Yeah, very like Addams Family kind of feel.
Right. We hit the credits, mid-credit scene for once, of Monica exploring Agnes's house, and Pietro shows up to say, "Snooper's gonna snoop." All right, so let's get into our thoughts on the episode. How'd you feel about this one?
I liked almost everything about this episode.
Excellent.
Almost everything about it. I didn't like that they told me, "Hey, get hyped for who it's going to be." And then the actress who plays Monica Rambeau on Twitter or whatever said, "I can't wait for everybody to find out who it's going to be."
Yeah.
And then it was literally no one.
Literally,
she said, "I can't wait to see everyone's face."
Yeah.
When they find out who it is. Yeah. And then it was nobody.
Yeah.
So what the fuck? Everybody was just trying to convince me to get hyped over nothing? That's pretty annoying. Yeah. I don't like that.
That's understandable.
But that's the only thing that I didn't like. Everything else I was cool.
You enjoyed everything else.
Hold on. We do have to get to an apology.
Oh.
From Jason to Antonio.
Okay. I like these style of apologies.
Because I was completely right about Wanda not being completely in control and Agnes being a part of it.
Okay,
and I accept your apology.
We'll get into that in a second because it's clear that Wanda still controls everything, and Agnes manipulates things slightly.
My thing was just that Wanda wasn't going to be the antagonist. That I didn't think that was the Disney play. I think that maybe that would have been cool, especially in the comics,
for a bad guy,
for a good person to become a bad person because of trauma and shit. Yeah, I think that would have been cool, great.
You brought up last week how you even preempted it with, "No, listen, this is going to be a clown style take."
Exactly.
But what if Agnes is
like
playing around with it, right? Yeah. And I told you that last week. I didn't think it was a clown style take. I didn't think it was. Let me give. So I want to say this. Okay, Marvel got me, dude. They got me. I honestly thought I was going to enjoy something that was from Marvel.
Oh boy.
And they showed that they cannot do anything right. I've had disappointing sex in my life. I've had disappointing pizza in my life. I've never been as disappointed as I was on Friday.
Yeah.
I fucking hated this episode.
That's interesting. What did you hate about it?
Everything.
Okay, but what?
I'm going to break down specifically everything I hated.
Yeah.
This show was presented to us as a mystery-style television show.
Okay.
You figure out things as things going on. It broke almost every rule of a mystery-style television show.
Okay.
Agnes looking out the window, really bad. Now, okay, we've always thought...
episode.
Yes.
Okay.
We've always thought that Agnes might have had something to do... I think I even made a joke that was like, it's going to turn out Agnes killed the dog. And it did turn out Agnes killed the dog. But I was kind of joking about it before because I didn't think Disney would be this clumsy, okay? We even brought up, throughout the season, we brought up that Agnes was the only character played by a real actor, right? Like everybody else is just like a random person, and then we have the actor. I think we brought that up in the first or second episode.
Sure, yeah.
So it was kind of like she's got to have something more to it.
And she was always in the business.
Not only
so from the first episode, I remember saying to you, I think she's going to be the big bad guy.
Yes.
And you said, why? Just because she's always in the business? And I'm just like, yeah, dude, like, cause she's just too into it. You know? Like she's...
No, I agree. And in hindsight, of course she was, because again, I have to remember, this isn't HBO. This isn't made for high-level people that want to think. This is made for the lowest common denominator. So of course she's the one that's behind the bad. I want to make it clear. It is clear that Scarlet Witch or Wanda is the one behind the hex, the stuff that's going on, and Agnes is only kind of rolling things bad. Whenever something could go well and this kind of end or maybe want to break through and like start to deal with her trauma, Agnes kind of fucks up things a little bit for her.
Yeah, so, and if there's probably some amount of stuff that she's kind of doing and the kids still aren't answered. And so what
do you feel like she's doing?
Well, like she brought Pietro.
No, she didn't.
You think Wanda did that?
No, some other power brought Pietro. It could be Wanda, or it could be something else.
Yeah,
she made him show up where he showed up.
Okay, so because the Mephisto element.
Yeah, something else.
Whether or not it's going to be the Mephisto.
Sure.
That other maybe higher element still, that unrevealed whatever. Because we got 2 episodes left,
right? And
those 2 episodes aren't just going to be the resolving action.
No, they're going to be 35 minutes apiece of still dealing with stuff.
Of still reveals.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. Let's point that out. This show could still redeem itself in my eyes, but it's got an uphill battle.
I don't think that in your eyes it'll redeem itself.
I agree.
I think that in your eyes it'll just be like, oh, okay, so it was Mephisto and he was just using these kids to great power or whatever, and he's the one that brought it. Okay, cool. Like, that's how you'll write it off.
Sure.
I think that that's still likely that it's going to be the case, but I'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because
you're going to enjoy it no matter, like, you enjoy. Okay, and here, all right. So other things,
because I kind of saw, the Agatha thing.
Of course,
the case,
yeah.
But I still liked it when it happened. I was just like, hey, yeah, she's the bad guy.
So let me point this out.
Because I wasn't there necessarily for the mystery.
I want to talk about, and that's...
I was there for
then the show is wrong.
For the plot.
Okay, the show should not be presented as a mystery show in the first place, with things going on, with a mystery behind what's going on, if it's not going to be a mystery show. This isn't... Okay,
it was kind of a mystery show because you didn't know.
I mean...
There was a lot of speculation.
In hindsight, everything was... The only reason we didn't know is because a person like myself is like, there's no way that can be, because it's way too fucking obvious, man. This reminds me of like Murder on the Orient Express. Have you ever watched that movie?
No.
Okay. Where it's like, of course, everybody was in on the kill. Like, it wasn't this person or that person. It was everybody that killed him. Because, of course, it fucking was. And that's the same thing I feel about this show. Like, of course it was fucking her. Because they are so blunt. Disney is such a blunt object where it's not going to be like Westworld, where they lay little traps and, like, things of that nature. It's the most obvious blunt thing. Now, I will say this. When I watched it on second time, I thought the video was cute. Like, the whole thing was cute of her, like, Agatha, all alone. And, like, the reveal. But and she's very funny with her, like, reveals throughout it. Yeah. But, like, even that, to me, was kind of clumsy because, like, the scenes that we re-see are, like, it was impossible that was happening at the time that we watched it happen, okay? Because, like, for one, we know Vision isn't controlled by Agatha. So if she's the one doing
she is controlling Vision,
okay,
too, or trying to at least, and not like.
Then she wouldn't have to do like that scene where she like, because she doesn't use her magic in front. She's faking it in front of Vision in that scene where she's like breaking down and everything else. Where when they're doing the montage and she reveals that, even that was fake or whatever, right? Yeah. It's not like she's using her magic on him right there. She's literally just faking.
No, I think she's probably using the magic.
No, I didn't see that at all because there's no poop. Oh, and here's the thing about Pietro. We have it confirmed that she's not in control of Pietro because in the one scene, it's important to note that they do a visual element of like she has purple power. So the things that she's doing are purple, okay? And Monica can see her powers. We see that, okay? And when Pietro shows up, there's no purple around him, or he's just standing there talking to her.
I mean...
And we know it's already confirmed that Monica can see through her power.
Yeah, but I think this is another element. No, this is another element, I think, of you show us expecting more than you're actually getting.
It's a bad show. It's a bad company doing a bad show. If you're saying to me that this scene right here, we tell you her power is purple. We see in the scene, Monica sees her powers. And standing next to her is one of her powers, but we can't see that. That's poorly done.
I mean, because Scarlet Witch sees her powers too in the basement.
No, she does not see that the vines and stuff are purple.
No, but she sees her do the purple thing with her.
She does, yes. Yeah. At that one point, she does. But that's because she's revealing it to her.
Okay, yeah. But what Monica I'm saying is, if she sees the power, she's been hanging around Pietro for days now. Wanda.
No, okay.
At the house.
You're misunderstanding. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. Okay. I'm talking about Monica, not Wanda. Let's make sure.
Yeah, but Wanda can see through the powers too.
She cannot see through the powers.
Okay.
She only sees through the powers once Agnes reveals it to her.
Okay.
There's nothing before that indicates that.
I think that you expecting that the power is always just kind of circling Pietro, I don't think it's founded.
They show it in the episode.
They show the purple stuff behind Pietro when he shows up at the door.
Yes.
But that's what I'm thinking is when she like brought him into that.
Who?
Like Agatha.
Okay.
That she brought him in that moment.
Okay.
That's why there's some lingering purple.
Okay.
Because the Scarlet Witch powers and her powers, as far as I've seen, are only visible when they're doing the thing. But then once the thing is done, you don't see them anymore.
Okay.
And so I think that...
But then you've also revealed to us that Monica can still see it. Even after it's all done, Monica can see the things that she's done.
You mean when she was like seeing everything in like different...
No, more
multicolor?
than that.
Okay.
She specifically sees her vines and all that shit. Her magical vines and all those. She sees those as purple powers.
Okay.
In the extra scene. Yeah. So if Pietro is her powers, it should be the same thing.
Yeah, maybe. But you're assuming that... No, hold on.
Here, I get it, bro. You're like, I don't care. Whatever they do, I'm cool. I'm
trying to tell you why I don't care whatever they do. I'm cool. It's less of a blanket and more of like, what am I thinking when I see this stuff?
Sure.
Right. When I saw the vines and them being purple, they are maybe an element of her magic, or maybe they're a source of the magic. You don't know what those vines are. You don't know, you don't know if that tree is like her life force or what the hell is going on there. I am assuming that there's a reason why the purple energy looks like Agatha's purple energy. But I think that Pietro isn't a magic being. Okay. I think that Pietro was brought in.
That's what we're saying.
But
then why
you wouldn't see the purple on him. Because he's just in the world now.
Right, because he's not Agnes's creation. That was my point.
I didn't say creation. I said that she brought him in. I think that she is like pulled him in from a different dimension, maybe. But I don't think that you'd see any lingering effect of the purple energy on him, because I think that that's like, even though it's something she created into this world, it's not something that she is.
Then you're basically playing poker. You've laid out 4 kings and a 5th king shows up.
Why?
Because again, you cannot in one scene show she can see the powers of the purple. She can see Wanda's powers. We've seen that. She can see Agnetha's powers. We've seen that. Yeah. And then Agnetha's powers standing next to her, and she can't see that.
Yeah, but I don't think that's Agatha's powers. I think that's a real Pietro from a different universe.
Right. I don't even know what we're arguing at this point. All right, so then besides this, to me is just like, it's funny that you like kind of make fun of like CW shows and stuff like that, because that's what this show is. Yeah. This show is like, this is the lowest common denominator. Hey, we're just gonna make people happy. And Marvel, go please read Harry Potter book. Read the first Harry Potter book, the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, please, and learn from Harry Potter. Because the thing that Harry Potter did perfectly is it presented a book that was meant for like 8 to 12-year-olds or so in the first Harry Potter book. Then the next one was made for 9 to 13-year-olds, then 10 to 14-year-olds, and so on and so forth, because the books grew with the people that was reading it. Marvel refuses to do this. Marvel, my son, who saw Iron Man the first time when he was 8 years old, is now 20, or about to be 20, okay? By the time May rolls around, which is when Iron Man released, he'll be 20. This now can be made for a person his age, not a person 12 or 8 when he was at first. You can now make things for multiple types of people. Now, they were able to do this when they had Netflix. While I didn't like the Netflix show because I thought they were too long, they were still made for a different type of audience. And I don't understand why Marvel can't go, hey, we've got 3 shows, 4 shows, 5 shows, whatever. We've got 3, 4, 5 movies coming out. We can make one for a older community. We can also make them for a more childish community.
None of these shows are ever going to be for anything other than the middle.
Yep.
There's never going to be. It's never going to get so clownish, cartoonish. That's well, I mean, except
It
for
already
that,
is.
except for that Big Hero 6 thing that you shared with me this morning.
I don't think the Agnetha reveal was childish as fuck.
But I don't. It's not like you're describing things as if they were like for little kids. Like
no, 8-year-old to 10-year-old isn't a little kid.
It's for middle bracket.
It's
because me and you liked Iron Man. And that was in that same bracket.
No, I would say that once
that's
Disney
the Disney
bought,
bracket.
No, it's not, because the original, I feel as though, especially the first Iron Man, and even the second Iron Man,
Winter Soldier.
When Disney fully yes, Winter Soldier was probably the last time they were like, hey, we're willing to do something more dangerous. Everything else, like we've talked about,
what was
like
dangerous
Civil War,
about Winter Soldier?
It was much more serious. It was not designed for, like, the joke in Winter Soldier is like, if anybody wants to step out, they can step out now, and like then he beats the fuck out of everybody.
Dude, there's a lot of jokes in Winter Soldier.
There's no like, hey, I watched this in Empire Strikes Back, and I'm gonna fucking make Ant-Man crash. Like, that is like Civil War, and
Spider-Man is a different character.
The thing is, once they released Guardians of the Galaxy,
Spider-Man is a kid.
They were like, we're going to make every movie for a person who has... There's two different things.
Did you like Guardians of the Galaxy 1?
I thought it was fun.
Guardians 1?
Yeah. I thought it was very fun. I've rewatched it. It's childish. And so is like the rest of Guardians.
Okay, so hold on.
And I want to make something clear,
hold on.
too,
I want to fight back against this idea of childish. What makes things childish?
I want to make something perfectly clear, because I had to explain this to someone. There are two different things. Made for children and childish, okay? Yeah. Made for children is Toy Story, okay? I want to make this clear. Even though Toy Story does give you... What Toy Story does perfectly is it's made for children, but there are deep parts in it that an adult can watch with their kid and go, I'm not completely bored with this, like you would Peppa Pig or something of that nature, okay? Because Peppa Pig is made for children, right? Okay. Then there's childish, okay? Childish can be any ages. Dude, Where's My Car? Okay. That's a fucking childish movie, okay? It's funny and makes you laugh and stuff like that, but it is childish.
But describe to me what's childish about it.
Everything Marvel is that level. Dude, Where's My Car level. Did you ever see Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah,
okay. And I'm sure you laughed and had a good time watching Dude, Where's My Car.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
some time ago now.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime when you're like, hey, we're going to give you something heavy. Okay. The idea of WandaVision over the last few episodes has been a heavy fucking thing. Okay. It's been like, Wanda's the villain. Wanda is using her depression or her mental state and taking it out on these people. And they're suffering for it, as we've seen in multiple episodes. Okay. And that's awesome. You've created this world of...
I mean, but that still is happening.
Okay. You ruin it all with the Agnetha all along. That is childish. Okay.
What about it is childish again?
The entire video.
What's the childish? Like describe to me. What does that mean? Why childish?
How do you not understand what I'm saying?
I don't get what you mean by childish.
The whole video, the song
is... Because it's fun?
Because it's whimsical. That's the word that I will use to describe that song. It's because it's like Addams Family, and it's joking and like fucking. You don't make something like.
So you want Dower? Dower is adult?
This needs to be Leftovers at this point in time. Yeah. This needs to be.
So you want a different show?
Yes, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. That's That's a really strange way to like. Frame all of this stuff. It's like you're saying, well, because it's not the thing that I wanted it to be, because it's its own thing, it's childish.
Yes.
And like that seems childish. Okay. Because what you're actually saying is this is too fun. And people are smiling too much and having too much fun with it, and so
then it's no longer a show about
wrong.
Then it's no longer a show about depression and dealing with your. It is now just that we were just joking about that because now let's have fun again because you cannot keep it at that level because you're worried that a person like yourself
you want
or
this
people
to be
who want
you want this to be
fun.
Chernobyl.
You know what? Excellent.
Yeah, but it's not.
I know.
None of the Marvel things have been.
Correct. Because they cannot get out of their own way to make
that's
something
not what
for
they're
a different
trying to
type of
make.
person. You're right. They're trying to make... Here, let's spread the net as far as possible so we don't offend anybody so we can make as much money as possible.
Okay.
It's not for art. It's not for higher level
Why did you expect any of that?
Because I was.
This is what's coloring your review here.
Because I was lulled into believing we were maybe going to a serious place, and who knows?
I wasn't lulled into believing.
I know that. That's why you're not disappointed with this episode.
But what I'm saying is, why be disappointed when your expectation came out of nowhere? Why did you expect this to be some fucking grim,
it didn't come
dour
out. You
fucking
keep saying
Chernobyl shit?
You keep saying because that's what they gave us earlier. They gave us Chernobyl earlier.
No, there's been jokes in every episode.
Dude,
everything's been light from the beginning to the end. It's been light.
There's jokes in Chernobyl, bro. They cracked jokes in Chernobyl.
What I'm saying is that the whimsicalness has not changed from episode 1 to episode.
It's gone to the next level with this reveal. The only thing I'll give credit for this thing was I love the fact that there was a third aspect ratio for Agnetha's scenes when she reveals herself. We go because there's the aspect ratio for WandaVision. Then we flip into one for like when the sword scenes or stuff that's more like widescreen, and then we flip into another one for Agnetha's that's like 16:4. I think the original is like 4:3, then wide letter, and then like a 16:4 for Agnetha, and that was cool. So I'll give it credit for that. But yeah, it was not only like I say, it was everything. It was that Monica's inside person was absolutely nobody, and that's a fucking mistake. It's just mistake after mistake, I think, that made me go, listen, I want to make this clear, okay? I watched this episode, like, ready to be, like, just thrilled. I watched it earlier than I ever do. You know, I think I even messaged you, like, I was like, I watched this Friday morning. I usually watch these Saturday night, Saturday night, sometimes Sunday. I don't get to it till Sunday. I watched this early Friday, and I had a bad day the rest of the day Friday, and I realized it was because of how disappointed I was with this show. Like, I yelled at my kids at one point, and I was like, why am I... I'm like, oh, I'm on edge all day because of how disappointed I was in this episode of television, which is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that is
I totally admit
ridiculous.
that.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no shit.
But it's even more ridiculous because you set yourself up for this.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, no, I know.
Okay, well then, I refuse to be told by you from this point forward that I shouldn't be enjoying the show.
Who said you shouldn't be enjoying the show?
I refuse to be called childish for enjoying the show that's supposed to be fun.
Who cares what my opinion is?
For enjoying clearly right? For enjoying this show for being a fun show. When that's the point. That's been the whole point. That's always been the point for all these movies and this entire show. It's always been a middle block, family-friendly fun. And for you to be like, well, it's not like a dour, dark, serious, not for...
Then don't make it about Wanda.
Why?
Make it about...
Why can't... Wait, hold on.
Because Wanda is dealing with a much more serious situation.
In the way that they're going to show in the MCU.
Captain America episodes, Captain America movies were a little bit deeper, a little bit more... That's why the Black Panther was a serious movie. That's like they have two serious movies in this entire series of films. One of them is Black Panther, one of them is Winter Soldier. Captain America Civil War is probably like right below that. If you take out Spider-Man especially, it does get to that level of almost high level, deeper film. And Captain America 1 also deals with a lot of that same kind of thing. The original Iron Man specifically is a little bit more serious, but then it was bought by the mouse. And in the mouse's house, you make Pirates of the Caribbean, bro. You make something that a kid is going to enjoy. And it doesn't matter, dude. If you don't want to be called childish...
This is no less serious than any of the Captain America movies.
Okay.
This is no less serious than that.
Okay. You can feel that way.
Well, no, that's the truth. Though.
You can feel that way. Absolutely. You can feel that way.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. You can feel that way. If you feel as though this is just as serious as Winter Soldier, that's totally fine. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah. You just think it's wrong.
You know, I'm going to... I mean, here's the thing, right? At no point are you going to convince me that I'm like...
wrong for expecting an adult show?
Yeah,
you're absolutely wrong about that.
Because
there's never been any expectation that this was going to be any different, any kind of departure.
You're right, and I didn't expect it originally either.
Okay.
I expected childishness.
Okay.
And then you gave me like the first episode, and you had that scene with like Kitty Foreman and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, oh shit, they're going to shoot for a little bit more adult themed here.
Okay.
And then it got to the next episode and it was still, and then you got to the 80s episode. I think that was a Step by Step where Vision starts to like question, like, you don't get to make any decision for anybody else. I get to make the decisions for myself. You didn't even take this. And then I was like, oh shit. And I think that's why I'm more disappointed than anything, because you're right. I should have expected this was going to get back to childishness. Because it's Marvel, and that's perfectly fine. And there's nothing wrong with it. You should have
expected that at some point they were going to have to start having fun with this.
They were going to have to jump. Here's the thing. Why do you keep saying that?
Why do you keep saying childish?
Chernobyl was fun.
In a different way.
Yeah, it was enjoyable art. You keep saying fun as in we're like on a thrill ride, bro. Like if you want,
we are. It's a superhero intellectual property.
No.
They're using magic.
All right.
It's supposed to be a different kind of fun. It was never going to be dour.
Okay. Look, if you go and watch Black Panther again, it is not a thrill ride of like, oh, superhero magic and blah, blah, blah. There are absolutely stuff like that. But it is the reason why Black Panther is the highest rated Marvel film of all time. There's no Marvel movie rated higher than Black Panther. Is because it was a well-made adult movie that also some kids happen to enjoy because they like anything from Marvel. But there's a reason why that movie is as rated as and the next like closest one, if I remember correctly, is a Winter Soldier. Okay, so like those are two of the highest rated, and Iron Man is like those are the top 3 rated, by critics and stuff like that. And now you can say, I don't give a fuck what a critics thinks, and that's perfect. That is perfectly valid. You can be like, I don't give a fuck what Technor thinks about any of this shit. That's perfectly valid as well. You can like Fast and the Furious. You can like Michael Bay movies. That means nothing. Whatever you enjoy is what you enjoy. But if you start to develop something that's deeper, this is like if in Watchmen, if every episode had a lube man scene, like you don't do that, okay? And like in Watchmen, let me compare to Watchmen since we're going to talk about comic book movies and comic book stuff. Now, Watchmen is more serious. I'm not going to fucking try to argue that, okay? You have serious things going on. There's some whimsical, funny things with Jeremy Irons being, what is his name? Ozymandias, right? Okay. There's absolutely some serious stuff. There's some whimsical music being played and funny things and stuff like that. And he's killing the fuck out of people in those scenes as well. So like, it is whimsical, kind of. If Marvel could do something like that, if Marvel was like, I would not call it childish, because at no point would I call Watchmen childish, okay? Because even though it had a lube man scene, which was like a one scene and was funny and we kind of laugh about it, it was a one-time thing. Everything else was handled with adult gloves. It was like, here, we're going to make something that's funny and you're going to laugh at it and then you're going to feel bad for laughing at it afterwards. Because it's like, holy fuck, when you think of the ramifications of this. A pay channel.
On HBO.
A pay channel.
A show for adults. A channel for adults.
HBO also makes new episodes of Sesame Street.
Is there anything else apart from Sesame Street?
What do you mean?
Is there any other thing on HBO apart from Sesame Street that's for kids? Or has everything always been for adults?
No. HBO has multiple... But here's the thing, right?
Because Disney was making things for the family. So it's going to be a different kind of mentality?
Don't tell me you're going to make...
It wasn't going to be watched.
Don't tell me you're going to make Deadpool rated R.
They didn't tell you that.
Don't tell me you're going to make a new Alien movie. You're going to make a new Predator movie, and these are going to be rated R. They absolutely did say the new Deadpool is going to be rated R. So you're going to make these films. This tells me, Disney, you can make things for adults. You're just saying nothing Marvel is ever going to be made for adults. Even though Netflix was able to do it, we're not going to do it here. Under the House of the Mouse, it ain't happening.
They weren't going to do it in Disney. They weren't going to do it on the Disney Plus.
Again, Deadpool's going to be rated R. And it's going to be on Disney Plus at some point in time.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, man.
You know what? You don't have to tell me anything.
You get riled up about this not being the thing you wanted instead of just appreciating the thing that is.
You're right. I can't appreciate what it is.
I don't know why. I don't like because you were appreciating what it was. And until they were just like, well, it's not going to be that dark. And you were just like, well, this is garbage.
Yeah, I'm 40 years old, bro. I don't need comical relief. In every.
You don't need things to be fun.
I don't need a comic relief.
You need to enjoy yourself.
Here's the thing. You just gave me Petro being very funny last week, doing funny things and stuff like that.
And you enjoyed that.
And I enjoyed that at that moment. Okay.
Oh, okay.
This is not, you do not go, this is, again, and here's the thing, right? A friend of mine talked about me. The problem is that I have a checkbox. We talk about this in the movies all the time. Yeah. I check my checkbox, right? Sure. If you are making a mystery show, I expect certain things to happen. It's the reveal, too, that pissed me off, okay? Like, the whole, like, thing. If you were doing this a better version of this same show, if you're doing yourself a mystery show, you set this up so that, first of all, you don't show Agnes looking at Monica arguing with Wanda. You just have her go out there. Okay, for one, I'm gonna point that out, because then that gives us the impression
they were about to reveal it.
Hold on, that gives us the impersonation that Agnes is just another construct under Wanda, and Wanda's freaking out, so Agnes showed up to save her from the situation. Okay, now you could kind of twist that with her looking, but it's clear that she looks outside, sees something goes on. Oh shit, I better intervene, and heads out to take care of the situation. Okay, now you also, in my opinion, do not reveal Agnetha in this episode. And now I'm being harsh here. I admit I'm being harsh because I don't know what's going to happen over the next 2 episodes. But we're talking about a podcast where we talk about the episode and break down each individual episode. So I have to take this at its full individual episode. No, I don't like it. And if this is your reveal, and this was supposedly as big of a reveal as Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian.
Who said that?
Please. Online. That's what's been talked about online, is that Marvel Studios confirms, another one of these confirms, that the reveal in this show is going to be just as big as the reveal in The Mandalorian Season 2, okay? Sure. Agnetha, okay, it's a character from Marvel. It is what it is. A character nobody gives a fuck about when it boils down to it. It almost needs to be a Mephisto coming now, and that is troublesome to me, especially like you point out with the sword agent as well. It's just like, we'll see where we go. And you know what? I'm going to watch the next 2 episodes because I'm being contractually obligated to watch the next 2 episodes. But I'll be completely honest with you. If we weren't doing this podcast, I'd probably stop watching this show after this episode.
I 100% don't believe you.
That I would stop watching the show?
I didn't watch any of the Netflix shows. You would finish the show.
I mean, I've bailed on other shows before that like pissed me off.
You would watch the last 2 episodes of the show.
Yeah, maybe. But I wouldn't be happy about it.
All right. I'm done talking about this. I'm fucking pissed off as fuck right now.
Here's the thing. Why? If you enjoy the show, who gives a fuck? I mean, I've never understood when I say something's bad or I say something that doesn't, how that frustrates anybody. Because it's like when you don't like one of the movies that we do on our other podcast. You should check it out, Minorities Report on Movies. If you don't like something on that, it is what it is, bro. It's art.
No, you're wrong about this.
I don't think I've ever seen you as frustrated as I've seen you right now.
You're a fucking
That's
clown.
golden.
You guys want to keep hearing this fucking clown give us dumbass ideas? Keep tuning in. We'll see what happens.
If you want to podcast about Chernobyl, please message in and we'll happily cover Chernobyl and its whimsical.
If we ever cover Chernobyl,
you're gonna shit all. I know. You're gonna swallow everything you love about it and be like, "Fucking Dyatlov was stupid. It's so unrealistic."
All right,
we love y'all.
Tune in next week. We'll see what keeps happening. I'm looking forward to it. Have an awesome week, everyone.